Okay. Now, okay. Now we have all right, cool. Now we can actually like hear people. God damn it. Great. We're already like 5 minutes in, like not even a minute in and my chat is already kind of going off. All right, lovely. Okay. So we are a bit quiet. We can fix that. We can absolutely fix that. Let's just bring ourselves up a wee bit more. Nope, that's panning. This is my voice 3 weeks on ketamine. This is my voice. Okay, that's a bit loud. Okay. Cool. Better? Better. Am I too loud, chat? I will take you. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So, now we can give a proper welcome. Proper welcome to the stream. Welcome, everybody. We are here live for the streaming of my second album, Garden of Dragons. The first album where I take a proper crack at acoustic orchestral songs inspired heavily by RPGs, JRPGs, and really any game that does not involve, well, platforming, I guess. But yeah, this album has been in the works for like 3 years now. It's been it's taken like a good amount of time to make sure that this album has all of the scorings that I was hoping to achieve that you'd see in like an average RPG or JRPG, including character themes, including area themes, boss battles, of course, even an intro and a credits theme. So before we get started, we have a couple of thank yous. We have a thank you for, well, first off, for DS Music, the titular DS Music of Split Screen for moderating. We have a thank you for Geo Dragonart, who made the lovely album art for this album. Very, very meticulously crafted. Love it, love it, love it. Geo, your work is always appreciated. And additionally, a thank you to Sounddrop for making me make the very bold move of hopping over to Bandcamp, where I can get my songs properly paid for in advance. We love to see directly supporting the artist. All right, so first off, how this is going to work. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have each song play, and we're going to have a little bit of commentary in between each of them. Not much, just like a bit of inspiration as well as what I was looking to achieve with the song, and a bit of backstory if that's relevant. So, just so we don't have a repeat of the mic issues the first time, let's test the levels of the first song. Perfect. We love to see it. We love to hear it. Shut up. So, first song, Loyalty Unbound. Yes, this song did initially start off as an, hey, welcome to the chat, Jen. Welcome to the chat. We love to have more company here. We love to see the company. So, the first song, Loyalty Unbound, is written as an anime OP for a friend of mine. And initially I was thinking, what if I wrote like a main menu theme for this song, for this whole album? But then I'm like, nah, this song already sounds like it's an opening. Let's run with that. So, let's give this a shot. Here's Loyalty Unbound, inspired by the themes of Tales of Arise and the song Inferno by Mrs. Greenapple, which I believe is the opening for Dr. Stone? Don't quote me on that. Anyway, let's begin. I'd say it's a pretty strong start to a pretty strong album. That's probably my bias. Oh, okay. No, not yet. Okay. So, yeah, so that was the opening. Hope that was a nice warm welcoming, a nice upbeat start to the album. Which has obviously an anime opening inspired sound to it, but it's also a bit of a misguided introduction because the story of this album follows 3 characters, and we're going to look at those characters in a little bit, starting with this next guy, this next song entitled "Puza the Exiled." So I decided for this album, if I wanted to write an RPG/JRPG soundtrack, I would need some characters to have this album be about, so we can follow them and to make proper character themes. So I decided to make a character based on a story of betrayal. It's a character that has been backstabbed by a kingdom that he had been forced to serve, his own home kingdom, actually. And he was forced to work under a tyrannical king for the longest time. And he has to now be forced to live in exile. And so he's been in the forest for like 7 years. And I figured I wanted to write a song that accurately reflected the vengeance, sort of the encouragement, and sort of the determination that you might have to get back at somebody who had backstabbed you and forced you to go into hiding. So we're going to have the song play, and after the song plays, I'll show you guys my attempt at what this guy looks like, because I know there are a couple of artists in the chat, so I wanted to show them and all of you how I envision and how I see these characters. I did use Hero Forge, so make of that what you will. All right, before we show that though, let's start the song. And so it fades. Alright, so that was the second song. A bit more of a... Still keeping the upbeat tension of the first song going. No, I think it's pretty cheerful. Anyway, so this song, yeah, it's a bit more of a brooding one for the character. I used a couple of inspirations for this, mainly songs from a JRPG called Octopath Traveler 2. And in this game, there are a couple of character themes, two of which have like kind of depressing stories. One of them is a thief, and the other one is a scholar who had literally everything taken from him. So needless to say, both of these guys have not led chipper lives. So I used Throne the Thief and Oswald the Scholar, both of which are songs from the Octopath Traveler 2 soundtrack, for inspiration. As well as that tin whistle, which I also used in the song, being a callback to Agnia. I think that tin whistle really adds an air of a connection to nature, if that makes any sense. So those are mainly the inspirations for that song. And the design of this character himself, let's take a look at it. I spent a bit of time in Hero Forge making this guy. He is incredibly JoJo coded. I initially didn't take him to be a ginger, but as I was experimenting more with the color palette of this guy, I thought, you know what? This actually kind of fits. I even made like a little thing on the back. These colored strokes will make a lot more sense later, because of the other two characters. I designed the pink one for the character song that's next, and the red one for another character that's coming much later in the night. By much later, I mean like 2 tracks later. So we have. So I kind of like the design of it. And Gio, yes, I'm glad you agree with the whistle. Snack, I'm not even gonna comment on that. I don't know what to make of the pots. DS music, cadence to the key change. I'm glad you saw that. I didn't know if I wanted to keep it all in the same key or not. Knew I had to keep that going. And also, Cry All the Time. Welcome to the chat. Sorry it's a bit belated. I love that username. Anyway. Next up, we got the next track of Meet Sakura, Princess of the Lilies. So, along this journey that Puzo is going on, he has a moment of clarity where he's seeking some sort of spiritual guidance, if that makes any sense. He needs some sort of saving grace behind him. He needs some sort of encouragement and some sort of blessing in a way. So he runs into Princess Sakura of the Lilies, the Forest Lilies, of which, for this one, I'll show you guys after the fact, because I don't know if you guys want to have like a Hero Forge model like staring to the depths of your soul the whole time. So I think we'll just start with there, and I'll show you the inspiration for her after this. Shit. All right. All right. That was track 3. So, yeah, as you can tell, the song is supposed to be a bit more serene, a bit more smooth, not so like loud and aggressive. The song itself takes a couple of inspirations from 2 main games. Super Mario Galaxy, Space Junk Galaxy. I wanted to make something that sounded like spacey and ethereal in a way, as well as the song, the walkout song for the hockey players in the NES game Blaze of Steel, Konami's Blaze of Steel. It's a game that my dad showed me a long time ago, and like the game itself is just hockey, but the song itself, like the dun 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 dun, that just kind of stuck with me. So I did also make Sakura in Hero Forge. I don't do faces that well. I haven't really messed around with the faces in Hero Forge that much, so excuse me, she looks far too chiseled for a gracious, ethereal, divine being. Again, like, one of these days, maybe I'll commission an artist to draw her properly. I think I'd have to, like, refine a little bit. But yeah, this is the second character, and this is also where the pink on Puzo's cape is originating from. So it's like he's imbued with divinity in a way. So now we're on to where he makes his march to the next area, and so this next song is the one song I get the most amount of feedback on. Out of all of the albums, it's a song called Sandseeker. It's meant to be like, well, basically it's the desert area of the game. But let me show you what we've got lined up for this next song. You know what? Throw the glasses on. I think it's the most hyped song in the album. That's just me. Hit it. Nice. All right. Most hype song on the album. Welcome to the chat, Gcast. And also, DS, I'll send you. You know what? I'll send you the bass line later. We'll dissect it later once the sheet music is available. So that song, took inspiration from Castle Crashers, a song from Castle Crashers. See if I remember the name. Right, that's the name of it. Sand Castle Crashing, which, I mean, what more of a name do you need? It's also, I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's like a tinge of inspiration from Big Shot, Deltarune Chapter 2. Also, I'm gonna put out a public bounty right now. I will pay 20 IRL bucks for anybody who can tell me exactly what was said in that vocoded section. I intentionally put in gibberish. I want to see if anybody can decipher it. Let's see. We'll see if you can. You can Venmo. I'll Venmo you personally. Okay. Well, Geo, come on. At least try. You could be winning 20 bucks here. It's a gamble. That's the beauty of it. Anyway. Okay. Okay, so, you know what? Hold on. I actually typed it out, and I typed it out in the DMs. Oh God, I just peeked. I'll pull up the DMs. Cause I texted it to you. Let's see. It says, and I quote, hint a little pupulize just to see what lies inside. Bring a medal for a ride. Bring it to the maximize. Like I said, pure gibberish. And you know what? Actually, you know what? That's my headcanon, DS. That's my headcanon. It says, thank you so much for playing a game. It's every bit I hope for in that sub. Anyway, so next song we got our third character theme, which is entitled King Carrion, Lord of the Abstract, the main villain of this game. So this guy is a huge. Not only is he he's a tyrant, but I also wrote him to be an avid collector of everything artistic. Every sculpture, every painting, every, I guess, mosaic, any ceiling painting he can get his hand on. He collects it, hoards it for himself. And he's the one that kicked Puzo out of his kingdom. So he had decided to basically surround himself in nothing but high art. And he mistakenly thinks that surrounding himself with all of this high art somehow makes him great, in the same way that all of these painters that came before him were great. Which, there's totally a coordination. There's totally a correlation there. What are you talking about? He is the third character that I made in Hero Forge. But for this song, I wanted it to be a regal sounding thing with an air of arrogance and class. Maybe a bit mistaken class, but there nonetheless. So, let's give it a listen, and I'll share the inspiration and the picture of this lovely mug after the fact. Yeah, that one is a bit of a personal favorite of mine. I really do like that song. It was actually also cry all the time. I saw your comment. That honestly, fitting. Maidens quiver before me. No, but yeah. So this song actually started off as it started off as like a mix of like listening to, of all things, Anderson .Paak Come Down, as well as, I don't know if anyone here has played it, the Tetris CDI game, like this version of Tetris for CDI. There is a song in that game where it's high score. It's like the high score song, and it's a very, very waltzy dance kind of melody that I thought would be perfect for a king this tactical, so specific, yet so selfish all for himself. Not all the time, DS. I see you. Alright, so before we continue, let me show you our villain of this album. And yeah, this guy, I decided to make him fit the whole painted motif, mix him with primary colors. He associates himself with being on top, so it's like first place, primary. That's what he sees him as. I don't know if you can see it there, but there's like a couple coins and like an oyster there. I tried to make riches. The Hero Forge system is only like there are only so many props you can put there, but like I think this is I think it's a great depiction of him. That's just how I see him anyway. Yeah, thank you guys for coming so far. We're like halfway through, and we have a little something special next. So normally on the album, which by the way, we're listening to this on Bandcamp because there are a few songs on here that the Spotify playlist won't be getting. And there is a Spotify playlist. I pinged it at the top of the chat if you guys want to stream it after this. Of course there's going to be links everywhere to it, but if you just ever want to. So on the Bandcamp page, though, which, by the way, you can directly support me, like pay $1 a song, and if you pay for the whole album, you'll get not only a few bonus tracks, but also some additional content, including some inspiration, some more backstory that I'm not going to mention on the live stream. But on this album, right here, so normally these two songs, In Pursuit of Virtue and Virtuous Confrontation, these two songs are separate on the Spotify version and here, but because this album takes inspiration from JRPGs and RPGs, I decided to have songs that are in the same style as Octopath Travelers, where it has a character transition theme, like a variation of the character's theme song into the transition theme, and go into the boss theme. So I also decided to throw in a couple of melodies from both Carrion and from Puzo, so that it feels like the story is more tailored to them. I even had like a whole script written out, a few scripts written out, with the help of a friend of mine, to help me better visualize it, which you can read for yourself if you buy the Bandcamp version of the album, just in case you want it. So what we're going to do is we are going to play the full version. We're going to play the full version from the transition into the battle theme, just so you all can hear how it was intended to sound. So prepare for a 5-minute epic. I'm kind of proud of that guitar. What do you think, As it should be, Max. As it should be. Just carrying the theme. There goes. And then it just fades out. So yeah, that song was my proper attempt of putting a couple of character themes together in midst of a battle theme, which I'm kind of proud with because after a while I realized that like battle themes is exactly what people love about JRPGs. It's like probably the most exciting thing about it. Sure, the emotional stuff is cool, but like the battle themes at the high energy is so good, so good. Also, thank you guys for the thanks for the hype up in the chat. So that song took actually more inspiration from not from Octopath Traveler, but from a Final Fantasy game, specifically 7 Rebirth, Battle on the Big Bridge when you're fighting Gilgamesh. Which that no joke, I like obsessively listened to that song, the second half of it especially, just for the guitar solo, and just for that, and just for the fact that you have a song that just you take it from like such an old console like the original PlayStation and modernize it. It's just love it. There's just no other word for it. It's just someone's gonna clip that out of context. Anyway, so. God damn it. I regret everything already. Okay, and enough grunting like middle-aged men, chat. Or I'm just a middle-aged man at this point. Anyway, hey. Oh god, I'm peeking so much. You know what? Let's actually turn that down before I go any further. Okay. So, the next song for the next song for the album, we have a song called One Leap Forward, which no, we're not doing that. Shush. So this song was actually intended. So this song was intended to be a song for another friend of mine, for the album artist, the drawer of the album, GeoDragon, and they sent me a picture a while ago, just as a challenge, because this was at the start of me writing songs for characters, like other people's characters. So I wanted to write a song that felt like it matched the kind of picture. I don't have the picture right now, but the picture itself has a girl sitting atop a rooftop with dragon wings, overlooking a cityscape, like a I think it's a cityscape on the dawn, or like with the sun setting. And so I wanted to write a song that felt like a How to Train Your Dragon kind of feel, mixed with something that's a bit more like triumphant, more melancholy, I guess. No, more triumphant, because this song was also now being repurposed in this album to be like a midway between like a chapter's end boss, and this song is supposed to be like the contemplative bit before the real final boss. Yes, we are getting to the meat and potatoes of this album with this. So this song is a bit on the shorter side. It's meant to be more like a cutscene kind of song, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna give this a quick listen. I was told there was, I was told after the fact that it sounds a lot like another game song, like a song from another game. Let's see if you guys can figure it out. So yeah, That song, as you can tell by the marching snare at the end, it's supposed to be leading into the next song. So so when I showed the song to a friend of mine, and and they kind of realized that like the song sounds like a song from another game, from a game I haven't played, Chrono Trigger. I've yet to play that game myself, and I didn't realize it till after the fact. But I guess it does kind of sound like that. It's kind of crazy how like you can have a song that sounds so similar to another song without even realizing it. So I said earlier that this song was leading into the real final boss theme. So this song was actually one that I wrote a while ago, for as a birthday gift, I was so happy with how it turned out that I wanted to give it a more professional treatment. So what I did is I reached out to a YouTuber called Lionmite, formerly String Player Gamer, and I commissioned him to to play over the melody that I had written for the electric guitar plugin in Logic, since that can only get you so far. And I wanted to have a yeah. I'll plug his stuff in chat. He's really talented, very accomplished. He has credits in a Fox show. He's been scoring for a few movies. He's been on YouTube for quite some time too. So like he has some legacy behind his name. So this song actually was a birthday gift, and the guy who I wrote this for, he's a big fan of Bravely Default music. And specifically the stylings of Revo, the guy who made the Attack on Titan theme. And so I figured, okay, how can I make a song that's like so walls to the balls, just insanely like full, and like so much unnecessary instruments? Well, my answer to that is in a song called "The Name's Not Important." And this song, you can tell there's like a huge influence from Revo, especially in this middle section. But let's cue it up. Enjoy. Where are my glasses? Oh, fuck. Okay, hold up. Alright, yep. Thank you, chat, for noticing that. We gotta fix it. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. Let's see if we can just, yeah, hold on. We got this. No. Icon Boy got... Oh my god, Icon Boy, you're a funny guy. Alright, let's see if the audio is coming through. Okay, cool, we got it. Okay. One more time. I promised you the song is important. Why is OBS being so stupid? Okay, from the top. And that is probably my favorite boss battle theme on the entire album. Understandably so, because there's just so much going on. I wrote this song like 3 years ago or so, and I still cannot get over it. I still cannot get over just how sick that song is. So yeah, needless to say, that's like the longest single song of the album too, which I'm still very much proud of. So now that the final boss theme is there, this is normally where we get to the credits song. You know, makes sense for the progression of the story of the album. Congrats, King Tyrion is now defeated. But before we do that, I want to show you guys a little something special. So I intentionally made it so that if you want the full experience of this album, you have to go to Bandcamp. But because I'm feeling generous, I'll show you. So Spotify normally gets just 10 songs, just the story of the progression of the album. But because I had this song cooking on the back burner a while ago, I have a cover song on this album from one of the games that helped inspire this whole album in the first place. Song of Hope. It's a song that plays towards the very end of one of the characters' stories. And I was initially going to get a vocalist on this. Maybe one day I'll re-release it with a vocalist. But I was really happy with how well I was able to blend an acoustic Celtic jig, for lack of a better word, with a digital / rock kind of sound, so akin to the composer of Octopath Traveler 2. So this song is called "Song of Hope," and it plays at a very pivotal point in this character's story. Alright, so let's boot the song up and give this thing a fair shake. Oh, wait, not there. And yeah, as you can tell, most of these songs loop, and it's there for movie. Oh, both DS and Geo had their internet connection go out. Oh no. Oh, I think that's just the magic of pounding mead the entire time. When I actually love my wench wife. Nice. Nice. So that song was very much inspired by one of the main RPGs that inspired this whole song. Yeah, and it's and again, I really want to put a vocalist to it because I know there's lyrics to it. I just got to find the right vocalist. But yeah, so now that I've shown you guys that surprise and hopefully given you more incentive to support me directly, I would like to bring us all to the end of this album. So this next song is the credits theme, and it's meant to encapsulate everything that these three characters have been through. How Carrion is now defeated, this evil king is overthrown, and now the kingdom is back, or on its way back, to what it once was. And I hope that you all can see the vision of this credit song called Nordum Forever, the name of the kingdom, which I completely forgot to mention at the beginning of it. Whoops. But this song takes inspiration from a song from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, a JRPG that I've been told has some highlights for credits. It was also kind of inspired by a song from Eurovision called Rock and Roll Kids, which is also this very acoustic, reflective kind of ballad. And I think the song nails the whole wrapping up theme really well. So this song also has a guitar solo in it. So I think this song will be the last one, unless people want to go back and re-listen to another one, which I will be more than open to if you guys have a favorite. But until then, though, let's wrap things up. Story-wise, I mean. If I had a lighter right now. And there we have the credits. So, something I forgot to mention about that song, actually. This song features the talented DS Music, who's in chat, on piano. I had him record that piano second, like, a while ago. And he did an amazing job. And the funniest part about it is he doesn't remember recording it. And he's, but still, like, he did an amazing job. He has been, no pun intended, instrumental to making that song really pop. I just had that, I just had that, and he just ran with it. And, okay, don't try to hide from that, DS. You know you did great. You know you did amazing. But yeah, so, DS, your song, your piano has given the song so much of a cushier kind of ending. And it just meshes so well. I don't think either of us have played a Xenoblade game in our life, and we just got it. We just get it. But yeah, so that was the full album. That was the full story. I'm sure you guys enjoy it. If you guys want, if there's any songs that you guys had favorites for, I'm willing to play them all again, play some of those again as we take questions or comments or concerns. Might have a few concerns. But yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys thought. Like, which songs were your favorites? I know from everywhere else I've gotten, like, Sandseeker was a favorite. Name's Not Important was a big one. I had a few fans of the credits theme. They were just all over the place. But yeah, cry all the time. I'm glad you felt like it was the entire experience was just full and fulfilling. And again, if you guys want, it's on more than just Spotify. So if you guys use YouTube or iTunes or any of the other ones, by all means, listen to all those. I'm glad you enjoyed King Carrion. I feel like I'm in the minority of people who enjoyed King Carrion. Yeah, see, there's Name's Not Important. We love to see the Name's Not Important representation in this house. And okay, honestly, another like full disclosure about that song title's name. I was struggling for so long on that title that I eventually just kind of said, the name doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter. But rather, let's just make it fancy. Say the name's not important. But yeah, glad you guys enjoyed it all. If there are no more comments, questions, and/or concerns, the VOD will be up. But until then, though, I think we might call it there, because we had a pretty fun time, and I haven't seen any requests. So, like, thank you guys. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the album. I'll post the links again in the chat so you all can listen to it. You know what? Let me just do that right now, actually. Just in case y'all don't forget. And paste. Right there in case any of y'all want to go for it on Spotify. Sand Slapper. Love it. Love the fact that Sand Slapper was on there. Sand Sigma. Yeah, we found the culprit. We found the culprit for who the song was written for. Snack decided to have that song for his birthday. VC, I'm glad y'all enjoyed VC too, because VC was like, so good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for thank you all for everything. Okay. Yeah, thank you all. No, thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for showing up. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your night. The album will be on stream. Yeah, next. DS album is coming soon. I swear. TM, give it like give it like, a millennia or whenever I have like full ideas. Next album is going to be a mix of instrumental, some with lyrics, some with not. But we'll see until then. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping by, and hope you can enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks, guys. See you later.